Tess? 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 Hi, Tess. Hi. Hi, can you see me? Welcome. We've got early arrivers. Which is,
I've been waiting.
who's been waiting?
Donaldina.
Well, the meeting starts at 1.
Oh, well, I'm a different time zone. I'm in Mountain Time.
Oh, that's right.
And it says 1:30. It's 1:35 now here.
Okay. You're in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that.
Well,
I didn't think. I'm hoping that we don't get callers from like I don't know, Australia or something.
You never know.
Well, you never know. You never know. That would be nice. I would be deeply flattered, honestly.
I'm patient. I'm sitting here. Nothing else to do. Can't do anything. Can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I would just assume. I would love to be back at the Hall of Flowers. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I so miss it, and yeah, we'll have to just wait and see.
Okie dokie.
Sorry?
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can put my video image on, which I don't like, but nevertheless, can people see this? If put it up to my camera?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that it always comes on backward. I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to introduce this booklet, or this book rather. It's not a booklet. And I think I'll just do it like a short, like, hi everyone, welcome San Francisco Rose Society. We're a nonprofit. We're a special interest group. We're free to the public anyone who wants information, that kind of thing. What else? I'm not going to go into the meetings. I'm not going to go into the meetings part because that's kind of like something we don't really want to discuss right now. I'll introduce them to the American Rose Society, that we are an affiliate local group, and that there are local groups all over the country. And then I'll hand it off to you. How's that, Heather?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Well, I think I ironed some of the kinks out prior to coming online. Let me just, okay, it's recording. We're recording to the cloud. So that's how we're going to get our replay for people who won't be joining us. I did get a few inquiries. Can you guys hang on for a second? I need to get a glass of water. My throat is scratchy.
Yeah, no worries. How's the weather in San Francisco, Tess?
I live in Vallejo.
Wait, Vallejo. Oh,
yeah, it's in the North Bay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you were out of San Francisco.
We moved. We bought a house in July. So
in July. Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely
house.
Definitely that's why you have a rose garden now, right?
Yes. Got a rose garden. Colin's digging holes for me right now.
What's that?
Colin's digging holes for me right now.
Oh,
send him
over to my place too.
Yeah, I know. Send him here. Tell him I'll remunerate him generously.
Hi, Rose.
He may be retiring after this.
Oh.
Because we just got 20 cubic yards of mulch too. So.
Well,
Is
that's
Rose here?
Yeah,
I can hear. Okay. Okay, so we're all here pretty early. We had 20 minutes to go. I got a few inquiries from people who are, really excited about participating.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see.
It's not working. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how popular this is going to be. But I know at least 3 people so far have shown interest.
I see what you're trying to do,
On the
Rose.
other
You're
hand-
trying to do a background, right? I think Rose is trying to do a background on
Those
know what I-
backgrounds are,
Let me see if that.
well, no, she's actually has putting a background behind her, like a physical,
oh, I see. Oh, I see a real one. Yeah.
a
Okay.
real background, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to put a real background. I don't know how to do the other one.
Yeah, they're not worth it unless you like, you're supposed to have certain conditions. Otherwise, it just reflects back on your face. And I don't know. I've tried it. I don't want to bother. So
You're almost there, Rose. You're almost there.
you're getting pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting pretty close.
A little bit closer. Boy, this really takes a wide picture.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay,
That's much
somebody
better.
else.
Yeah, just straighten on the side there. Yeah.
Well,
Yep, there you go. And on the other side too, yeah. If you just tuck that side and then the other side too, just tuck it in. You're looking great. Yeah,
how's that?
perfect.
Oh, better.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It
chair hits-
doesn't fall over.
That
yeah,
looks
your chair
great.
hits the back of it, Rose.
Pardon me?
Your chair hits the back of it. So when you move your chair, it moves the curtain.
I'm trying not to move it.
Yeah.
How's
There you
that?
go.
Okay.
You look great.
Better.
Yeah. So we
Thank you.
we actually we have 20 minutes to go, and my experience is there people come in late. So I guess I'll suggest that we may just start around 5 minutes after 1.
Oh, Donaldina's coming in. How nice.
What?
Donaldina's coming in.
She's
Hi,
here.
Rose. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh,
I can't
She
see
came
you.
in.
along. I'm good.
She
I
came
can't
in
see you.
on
Let me see
on
you.
Central Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what I would recommend is putting the slide up, the first slide up
Mhm.
as people join, so it establishes.
Yeah, I
it.
can start. I can
There
start
you
screen
are.
sharing already.
Thank you.
And then we'll be able to see how, we're probably going to be all of our little pictures all the way around it, which will be so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
find that perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Oh, could you, Marianne, you need to let me share screens.
Oh, okay. Let me just see. Oh gosh, give me a second. I have to navigate my way around this. Okay, let's see here. Hmm. Let me know if you can. Give it a try now. If it doesn't-
Donaldina, how are your roses over your way?
Let's see.
I'm pruning already,
Oh, good.
so they don't look too good.
I'm trying, but there's.
I went and pruned a
so much
neighbor's
else
house
to do.
yesterday.
Okay, so we're good with that. No.
Yeah, that's great. That looks
Okay.
I'm
awesome.
just gonna test the video really fast.
Yeah,
Oh,
please do
see
that, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a click. And I'll need to.
Oh,
Is that showing you the
Pretty music.
video?
No, we're still seeing
not
the
yet.
slide.
Okay, let me just, okay. Oh, there we go. I do a new share. Share. All right, is that showing you the video?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All
I'm
right.
I'm gonna try something as well, Tess. It gives me an option up here to show only the speaker with the presentation. So, okay. So I don't know how this is going to work. I imagine that when the speaker speaks, it's only on their photograph. although I might be wrong.
You want me to say something?
Yeah, let's do that. Why don't you just like start talking about what you're doing and your name and that kind of thing?
What am I doing in my yard? I'm trying to prune
Yeah.
roses.
See, that's how I'd like to present it. It's just her alone when she gives her presentation, because I want people to focus on the speaker, not on the rest of us. So I'll do that.
Okay.
All right. Oh, what else? Looks good to me. Hey, we did our homework. I think we didn't we, huh? I think it's
Yeah.
great.
So one thing, after the video is done, I don't think we went over this. How long do you want to keep Q&A open for?
How long is it running?
How long did I schedule this for? I scheduled it for 2 hours.
Okay.
From the past experience, when we were, at the Hall of Flowers itself, people like to linger, but most people weren't. I mean, a lot of people just left early. It all depends, really. I mean, you can't really predict how long people are going to ask questions, as you know.
How long is the program itself?
I
About
scheduled
23 minutes.
23 minutes. So
Yeah,
if we do another 15 minutes after that
Okay.
for question and answers, and if we have a lot of questions, then we
Yeah.
can just go
We
longer.
can
But
stay over, yeah. And my recommendation is to do to say this is an hour program, and
Mhm.
then, open it for Q&A when the video is done, end it at 2:00. But if we have a lot of questions, we'll just go over until the
yeah.
questions are answered. But I think it's
Yeah.
nice not to leave it open-ended in terms of, hey, this is a program.
Oh, no, we shouldn't be let, no.
Okay, got it. Awesome.
Yes, I agree. Did anyone watch the ARS presentation yesterday on new roses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it was.
We'll just have to find them,
I
all those
know.
roses.
I know. I know.
So many of them were sold out already. I don't know how people know this.
Oh,
Well, I wonder if they don't produce that many too.
Yeah, probably
That
limited
could be
sponsoring.
too. Waiting for a response and then
Yeah.
mhm,
get it going.
maybe.
So like if you make 100 and they sell out, or you make 1,000 and they sell out, the consumer doesn't know necessarily.
Exactly.
Right. And so many of them were really beautiful.
Does anybody watch the Sloat Garden Center presentations?
You mean, do they have video presentations or they just start
Yes.
one? Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't seen any yet.
I was watching one yesterday morning and it was very good. It was just general rose gardening. But I'm going to be presenting one on the 23rd for Sloat Garden.
Right, right. And I'm glad that they actually decided to have you there on site, which, I thought, because initially she said, oh no, we can't have anybody here. And it was a little bit
She
disappointing.
explained it to me how she's going to be doing it. It'll be outside, in the front where they usually have all of the material.
Right,
And she wants to just film it with her iPad.
right.
And then let it be like that.
That's good.
So it'll be distancing,
Right,
and there won't be anybody there
right,
other than Jan, taking the picture.
right.
So that's pretty safe.
Yeah. I've never met her in person. She normally doesn't. Are you going to be on Sloat Boulevard? Are you going to be at that one?
Yeah, it's Sloat Boulevard.
Yeah, because she works in Marin County.
Yeah, she goes back and forth. She's the coordinator, program coordinator.
Right. Well, that's good. I think that was a good decision. Well, I hope names start popping up. I noticed that when I was the first Marin County Rose or the Marin Rose Society Zoom presentation, people were slowly beginning to, gather into the Zoom room.
Oh, yeah.
So, and some people are just not familiar with how the process works either.
Well, I think it's still new to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's
So,
very,
yeah.
yeah.
I've never actually hosted one, but I've been to many different ones.
Yeah, they're easy to host. They're easy to host. I 30 years ago, makes me sound like an old person. 30 years ago, I used to set up video conferencing for executives, and the technology was so really horrible. You wouldn't believe. I mean, everything was pixelated, and it was, and it would take like 10 seconds before a word would reach across.
Oh, jeez.
And do you know what they charge per hour just for an hour-long video present? $600.
Oh, jeez.
So it's come a long way.
It's amazing how quickly all of this technology came together with this.
Yeah.
Because people couldn't get together, so this was the only way.
I hear someone coming in, but I can't see her name. Where is that? Oh, it's Hillary. Hang on. Okie doke. Hi, Hillary. Hillary.
So every time someone comes in, it's gonna do that. You have to let them in, Marianne.
I did. Yeah, I just did.
Hello.
I just gave her permission to come in. I don't know what happened.
I'm here. This is Hillary. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Rose.
Oh, there you are. Let's see how I can rearrange these pictures so everyone can see each other. Yeah, that's pretty good. We could do it this way for now. We could do it that way.
Yeah, that's good at the bottom. Although as more of us come in, I wonder if the picture will just get smaller, probably.
There is an arrow at the very top that allows me to toggle up and toggle down. I don't know if it defaults.
As we're looking at Tessa's screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's time to present, I'll minimize everyone.
Okay. All right.
I think I think it is that when someone talks, then their photo comes up.
Right.
Yeah.
But all of our microphones are on.
Yeah, in this view, there's like a single one. It's whoever's talking comes out, but I'm not sure on the grid view. It'll be nice to see people's faces as they come in.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Right. Oh, this allows me to swap, so I can put your presentation up at the corner. Okay. I'm practicing here.
How is everybody?
Fine. I'm fine. How are you, Hillary?
I'm well. I'm looking forward to the meeting. I had 2 days off this weekend, so it's very exciting
nice.
for me. I feel so rested.
Hillary, did you get your shot yet? Your COVID
I
shot?
sure did.
Oh, you
yes, I did. December 23rd.
Oh, good.
And I have been telling people it is the best Christmas present I have ever had in my life.
Did you have any effects from it?
Well, the first effect was I felt like 100 pounds of stress fell off my shoulders.
No, I mean from the shot.
I know exactly.
Other than that.
But what I just mentioned is a really important point because everybody is tense.
Yes.
Our mental health has suffered through this pandemic, and mine improved dramatically after that first injection. And so
that's
I hope
what all the nurses and
a lot of people,
whoever has had it, they all said that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a sore arm, a left deltoid injection. If any of you have had the Shingrix vaccine, it is nowhere near that Shingrix. It's a little bit worse than influenza is what I experienced, that kind of arm pain.
We've got a new visitor coming.
So it was just your arm That was
Just left deltoid,
Yeah.
soreness,
Oh.
stiffness. I could feel it when I would roll onto it at night, but
Uh-huh.
it actually made me smile. It was so reassuring that it was actually working.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
soreness.
Colin gets his on Monday.
Yay.
So I don't know when I'll get one, but he's at UCSF. Even though he's worked from home, they're just doing everyone.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah,
doesn't
Zach's
have to go
sister
in
is getting
occasionally.
tomorrow as well. She's a
Oh,
nurse.
wonderful.
Well, we have a visitor, and I can only see her name. It's S. Miller.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi. Hi. Would you mind putting your image on, or would you prefer
I'm
being?
finishing my lunch. Can I wait till I get
Oh,
to lunch?
absolutely. Oh, yeah, sure.
And I'll
Absolutely.
be happy to join everybody. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's Sandy.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
What's your first name? Is it Susan?
Sandy.
Sandy Miller. Oh, I know. I've had conversations with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for
Yeah,
doing
this is Marianne.
Yes.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love doing stuff like this. I think that you're going to enjoy this a lot because number one, we have a very, very experienced consulting Rosarian making the presentation, and she does an excellent job. So you'll be learning a lot.
Terrific.
Yeah.
You know how good this all is for our brain to stretch it? Even though we don't know everything about it, but just to experiment with this new technology.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I get a little bit of a power rush here, seeing people's names and deciding whether or not I want to let them in. Let's see now. Who is coming in? How much are they willing to offer me? I hope we have a good sized crowd today. I mean, it just seems that it would be more appealing because people don't need to travel and go outside in the cold and that kind of thing. And we also are recording it for your information. So if you want to refer back, the recording will be available.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've got 5 minutes until 1, and I have made the decision to wait until 1:05.
That's a good decision. Yeah.
Yeah, since sometimes people forget.
Or people come in late or have to figure out how to do it.
Right, exactly. They may not know exactly how to do it. Have technical issues with their computers or whatever.
I'll be right back. I'm just getting another cup of tea.
Okay. We have one more visitor. Jana? Jean? She'll be in a minute.
While we're waiting, I'll be right back.
Okay. She's muted, so I can't hear her voice. Okay, Jean?
Yes, I'm here. Can you?
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Marianne.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure, actually. I'm really excited because this is our maiden voyage. And, I've worked with Zoom and I've worked with video conferencing in the past, but, it's something new for our society to test out and to try, and it will help us engage with each other, hopefully, give us an opportunity maybe to meet more often. And also, just for your information, Jean, this is being recorded. So if in the future that you want to, check in, and I'll probably send an email out with a link to the recording.
Great.
Yeah, it'll give you an opportunity to review the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always good.
Always good, especially with roses. And when you're first learning, I remember the. Hang on a second. The very first time I saw rose pruning, Rose Gilardi, our our pruning expert, the first time I saw her pruning roses, she must have thought I was crazy because I stood up right behind her. Oh, we got 3 more people. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Test. What's a test?
Hey, Candy.
Hey, hello.
Hello, hello.
I'm excited.
I know this will be good.
Hey, look at all these people. They're just rolling in.
Roses, roses, roses.
Hi, Colleen.
Yeah.
Pamela.
Hello.
Here we are.
Welcome.
Everyone sees each other. I'm glad.
No, not yet.
Okay.
If you want to put your photo, if you want to do a video and put yourself on video, you absolutely are welcome to do that.
I agree.
If not, that's okay too.
I agree.
Oh, I see.
If I don't greet you, it's because I'm having a hard time scrolling through all the participants' names here.
Yeah.
Satoko is here
Yes,
today.
I'm here. Thank you
Hi.
so much.
You're very
Hi,
welcome.
Scott.
Nice to meet you. Good to talk to you.
Oh, and
Let's see
you're
here.
back.
And
Awesome.
Colleen.
Start video. So what is,
Colleen.
so the start video gives me choices. Is it on the device?
Yes.
Okay.
And Ken, I've never met you before, but I've seen you at the Marin Rose Society. You'll need to unmute Scott Staub.
And Candy, welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm very excited. Still trying to figure out how
Awesome.
to. But I see you.
Awesome.
Yes. You don't need your video on if you don't want it, Candy.
Yeah, it's totally up to you. If you want to, you're more than welcome.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Fine too.
Okay. Then I'll just leave it. I'll just leave it that way.
Okay. No worries.
Somebody's trying to come in, but I can't find them. Oh, here it is. Okay. We're gonna wait another. I'm gonna give it another 3 minutes because the way people are coming in now, who knows how many will come in 3 minutes. It's actually very encouraging. Somebody here in the waiting room is called Test.
Oh, it could be Test Barbieri.
Okay, I just want to let people know that everyone is unmuted. Everyone's unmuted on this in this meeting, and just be aware that we can hear your background noise.
So I'm going
Marianne?
to mute myself so that, because there may be some noise behind me.
Okay, fine.
So
Okay, fine.
just mute.
Yeah, that's fine. We will probably either unmute at the end for questions and answers, or people can use the chat feature. Okay, Ellie Summers, Candy Nichols, Heather, Jean, Michelle.
Welcome, Ellie and Michelle. I just saw that you guys joined. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
You're welcome. Nice to have you here.
Yeah, we'd love to invite the entire city of San Francisco. I keep saying,
Oh, look at
God,
those.
we have so
So
many.
adorable. Hi. Adorable.
Thank you. I'm going to take video off because I'm going to be carrying this phone around while I get them ready for bed. And then aren't you going to
Our youngest.
I hear the voice.
Very cute. Okay, let's see who else we have. Who's the test?
I have no idea.
Oh,
That's
it's Colleen.
Colleen.
Yeah, just
Oh, it's
come look
Colleen.
at it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, there we go.
That's
It's always
fine.
confusing.
Call yourself whatever you want to, Colleen.
This is a test, and you passed.
Okay, well, it's 5 minutes after 1, and we agreed at the beginning because, we weren't sure what our participation level was going to be and whether we might have latecomers or whatever, but I think we'll just start now. I'm going to make a brief introduction for myself. I'm Marianne Razzo, and I have belonged to the San Francisco Rose Society for 10 years now. It's been quite an adventure. And I love the San Francisco Rose Society. I think it's a great organization. It's been around for 80 years. Next year, San Francisco Rose Society will be celebrating its 80th anniversary. It was formed on December 7th, 1941, during the First World War, Second World War rather. And it's been through thick and thin and survived over the years. We're a 501c3, which means that we're nonprofit, we're a charity. We are a special interest group. As I said, we're a charitable flower society. We provide our assistance, our insight. We teach, and we help people resolve their rose problems and their rose issues, and we encourage people to meet as a group. And typically, we normally have our meetings every month. So next month, we're going to have another meeting. And let's see, I have 2 more things to say, and then I'll hand it over to Heather. We also have produced, and this is way before me, but it's still very, very relevant. I hope you can see my face. It's a rose growing manual. It says growing roses in San Francisco, growing roses in the San Francisco Bay Area. And it's specifically designed to assist the rosarian in our particular climate zone here in the Bay Area, which tends to be, on the moist, cold side with the fog, and a lot of roses are susceptible to various diseases. And it's a really beautifully designed book, I think, in my opinion. It's subdivided. It's got tabs for every section. It's got places where you can put notes in, which I always think is a great idea, but I never do. And it's just, to me, it's timeless. And it was all put together by the members of the San Francisco Rose Society. It's $30, by the way. You can buy it right on our website if you go to PayPal, and, I'll get the information and send the book off to you if you want it. Also, San Francisco Rose Society is an affiliate of the American Rose Society. We're local, and as the local, we're part of a district, and then further up the chain, the district is part of a division, a region, and then I think there are 5 regions, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Rose knows better than me.
9 regions.
9 regions, okay. In the United States, they're all affiliated with the American Rose Society. The American Rose Society, I don't know when it was established. Probably Rose knows better than me. I don't know. But this is their is it bi-monthly? Yeah, bi-monthly publication. It's called American Rose. And it's very, very, very informative. It's really well put together. It's beautifully designed. The photography is spectacular. And it would be part of your membership if you decided to join the American Rose Society. So anyway, that's it for me. And I will now hand off our meeting to Heather, our first vice president, who has designed the program for us today.
Awesome. Thank you, Marianne. Well, hello, everyone. Really a big welcome to everyone. Happy New Year. And I'm so thrilled to see so many of you joining for today. Before we get started, I want to mention that we will be, and Marianne started to mention this a little bit earlier, We are going to be meeting virtually like we are today, every second Sunday of the month, starting at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And we'll go for about 1 hour. And if we have, to go over that, that's fine. But just kind of to let you know that we will be launching and going forward on Sundays, every second Sunday of the month. So today we are kicking off the 2021 programming for the San Francisco Rose Society. We're super excited to be able to share with you not only today's upcoming events, but also to let you know how we're going to be bringing this programming to you as well. So the way we are planning these topics is to match what type of care the roses in your garden will need. So that's how we're going to be approaching the topics that we bring to you every month and throughout the year. So with that, let's go over today's agenda. Launching of the 2021 virtual programs, as I just mentioned, we will go for today's topic. And then at the end of today's session, I will share with you what next month's topic will be. And then moving forward, as we get all of our monthly topics put together, we'll be able to share a full calendar with you. I'll also be sharing the San Francisco Rose Society board at a very high level so that you know who's putting these programs together for you as well. For today, the topic for January is selecting your tools and pruning demo that our very own Rose Gilardi will be our key featured speaker for today. Since this is a virtual meeting, some of you may know how to ask questions in chat. We also definitely, let you ask questions live as well. So we'll kind of play this out. It's the first time we're doing this with all of you, right? But we'll leave Q&A until the last 15 minutes of the hour. So as Rose is going through her pruning demo, because it will be a video, keep your questions till the end. If you want to put them through chat in the meantime, that's fine. We'll know that that's teed up for you. But if you want to ask your question live, you can definitely do that at the last 15 minutes of today's event. So with that, I'd like to introduce our featured speaker for today. Actually, before we do that, I'm sorry, let me go ahead and introduce the board. So for those of you that may not know who the San Francisco Rose Society board is, here you go, leading with the president of the San Francisco Rose Society, Marianne Razzo. We meet at least once a month, and we have been meeting, I would say, over the last couple of weeks furiously to put this amazing programming together for you today. And are really looking forward to be able to share this with you in a virtual format as well. So moving along to our featured speaker, I would like to introduce you to Rose Gilardi, and I asked her to send me a bio. And honestly, Rose, I'm so impressed with your bio. I did.
Please don't tell all of it.
I did take out some snippets of it. And as I was putting it together, I'm like, Rose, I had no idea how famous you were. So a little bit about Rose. She is a life member of the American Rose Society and a founding member of several Rose Societies. A couple of highlights that I took from her bio is that, as you guys all know, she is a Master Rosarian, an American Rose Society judge, an accredited international horticulture rose judge, and an ARS photography judge. Rose was also awarded the NCNH District Silver Award and the Outstanding Consulting Rosarian Award. She is also the ARS Bronze Medal from 3 Rose Societies. So her bio is actually a lot longer than that. So Rose, we are thrilled to have you with us today, and we can't wait to see and learn from you. So I'm going to turn this over to you.
Thank you. I don't know whether I should be talking or whether we should be starting with this, but I would like to just say real quick, winter pruning is very important for the rose bushes. And you have to know that winter pruning is different than just cutting your roses. This is sometimes very drastic, and people always think, oh, you're killing my rose bush, but we're not. We're doing actually good for the roses. You need to know why you're pruning, and that's very important. And I don't remember whether that came up in the video, but just to be sure, different roses are actually pruned a little bit different. Hybrid teas are usually pruned very drastically, and floribundas are not so. But if you want a lot of roses during your year, then you need to not prune quite so heavy. If you are a member of the Rose Society, you should be exhibiting your roses. So you would probably be pruning a little bit stronger than most people would. Climbing roses and old garden roses have drastically different pruning. The roses that you grow that only bloom once a year need to be pruned, if at all, only after they have pruned. The climbing roses can be pruned, but those long canes need to remain, and only small growths need to be remaining off of those, so that you're not cutting it all the way down. I always get that I have a climbing rose and it never blooms. Well, that's because they're pruning it like a regular bush rose, and those long canes never have a chance to reproduce, because climbing roses bloom off of last year's growth. During the video, it will be talked about how to prune, and I don't think I need to get into it. If you have any questions afterwards, I certainly will try and answer those. Hopefully all of yours.
Rose, let me just jump in a little bit.
Yes.
I think we're having some technical issues. Tess, are you trying to play the video now?
I have it paused for
Okay.
when it's going to start. So
Okay, so Rose, whenever you're ready, Tess can start the video. So I'll just leave it up.
I thought that would be it.
okay.
Okay, we can start, and if there are questions, then we can go into that later on. I just wanted to differentiate between the different bushes. You can go for it, Tess. Well, here we are again in the garden. It's January, mid-January now, and the roses are about the most dormant that they will get in the Bay Area at this time. First of all, before we prune, we want to be safe, and hopefully everyone has had their tetanus shot. Yes, can you make it a little louder?
Let me try.
We use gloves always.
Good. Is that better?
And we use glasses. If you're wearing regular glasses, you can put them over, or just the clear ones are fine. I'm going to have several different pruning equipment here. We use the small pruners. My hands are very small, so I like the smaller ones. This is a unique one. It's a Fiskar, where the one of the handles turns. If you do a lot of pruning, that comes in very handy without blisters. And we also need our big lobbers for the larger canes.
And Rose, why don't you talk about your your Makita.
Oh, my
Yes,
favorite.
It's your favorite tool, and I'm sure the people will be glad to hear.
When you have large dead cane all the way to the bottom, we need to, sometimes it's hard to get in there, and this is a very good tool to have. It does the sawing for you. It's battery driven. You're right. So when do we start?
Let's see about making this beautiful, ready to grow rose.
Okay, we have a hybrid tea rose here. What do you know the name of it?
I don't know where it came from in the yard, so I don't know the name. It's back in.
Okay. What we want to do is we're going to take all of the ties off first, so we know which way the branches want to go. This is the way it wants to grow. We're going to take it down about a quarter or so. That doesn't mean that we're going to bring everything down to here. Sometimes you have larger canes and higher canes, and sometimes we have to prune the shorter ones as well. So where do we want to start? How about right in front?
Yeah,
we're going to prune to an outside facing eye. Wherever there was a leaf, there's a new eye that will shoot out a new cane. And that's the ideal one. If the roses grow out like this, some of them do, they spread, then we want to prune to an inside facing eye. First, we want to see whether there are any of the dead canes. Those have to come out definitely. Anywhere along, just go up from the top down and find all the dead ones.
Like this.
Like this one right here. There's a dead one right here, but we're going to be cutting it off a little bit further down. Do we want to put it in a bucket or?
Yeah, I'll get you a bucket.
Okay. These are rather tall and they have to come down. There are lots of dead canes here that need to come out. Again, we're cutting to an outside or in this case, to an inside facing eye. When you have a rose bush that's in the ground next to a walkway, you want to be sure that nothing starts growing into the walkway. So we do the pruning going into the other direction. What else do we want to do here? There are lots of dead ones. This is a rather old bush, so there are lots of old canes. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 canes here. That's good enough. This one seems to be very productive, and this one is, but some of them, this one is not very productive anymore. So we'll see. I'm going to show you when I cut off how old these canes are. The inside has to be rather large, and that is an indication whether the cane is old or a very young one. This seems to be sort of middle-aged, I would say. That doesn't mean that we're going to leave this cane all the way. There has to be lots and lots of eyes in here, and we're going to prune all the way down to here. We're doing this at a 45-degree angle with the high point over the eye. This is, let's see. I'm going to show this close up. This is how it grows. This is the eye. We're going to have the high point right over the eye. This goes away and this stays right over the eye at about a 45-degree angle, about 1/4 of an inch above. We don't want to leave any long steps because those will die back. So one cane at a time, we look all the way down and see where it's coming from and how it's growing. There's a little bit here that really didn't produce a whole lot. Do you think we should take that
I
out?
would take that off, and I would also take it off to here.
Right to there? All right.
Now that looks like it's going to be productive. We're going to get lots of new growth right in here and right in here. So we can take
There's
this
a
piece
dead
off.
stub that we need to take off right on the side, and there's a dead stub here. If you're pruning and it looks dark on the inside, you better go further down until you find it white in the center. So this is a very nice cane, and it's been very productive. It's a hybrid tea, so like we said, around wherever there was a cane, there are hundreds of eyes in there, and they will all, well, not all of them, but a lot of them will start producing. We want mostly just one of those to grow, like this one here. There were others right around in here that started, but we want to cut those off, or we want to nip those off. Only one, because the further divided you are, the smaller the canes will be, and the smaller your roses will be. There's a dead stub here, and all of this is small. The higher you go, the smaller it goes, the smaller the next cane will be. So we're going to take it down to a good size, about thumb, well, not little finger size.
It actually depends on the plant.
How vigorous it is.
Yes. Some of them grow with larger canes. And,
is this still big enough?
I would come down to
come down to here. Again, we're cutting close to, we're not leaving a stub. We're cutting close to where this one comes out. And now we're here and trying to find out where we're going to be cutting.
How about right about there?
How about right here? This is an eye that is facing out this way. There really isn't anything interfering here. So
one of the things you might want to remember is that the growth from this is not going to be as big as this. The growth from this right here will be smaller than this piece right here. So each time, if you don't cut back to something fairly good, then you will get littler and littler growth.
And they get smaller. Can we go further down on this?
Sure.
Because this is going to get smaller from here,
Yep.
which will be about this size.
Yep. So let's
go
drop it
further
again.
down. Can we go here?
Yep.
All right.
Remember, this is an old plant, so it should have lots of growth, and it's not just the small stuff we're going to cut off. We're going to leave some of the very, very good big canes.
All right. What about all these little things here? It really hasn't produced a lot. We'll take those off. We're leaving a good framework. There aren't any dead canes coming all the way down, so we really didn't have to take those off first. But we are going from the top down, about to here. Now, these are probably going to be a little bit taller, but we'll see how we're doing. We really don't know exactly what the plant will look like until we get to it, because we don't know how vigorous it is inside and whether it's dead inside yet or not.
Remember, you're like an architect, and when you decide on what your plant wants to look like, you can bring it and make it any way you want. You can bring it short, you can bring it tall, but it has to grow the way you tell it to grow.
If you want a lot of more blooms, you want to leave it a little higher. If you prune it further down, it has to regenerate more stems, and the stems will be bigger, so you're going to get bigger flowers. But on a hybrid tea, you have a good chance to bring it down further, and then it'll start regenerating. The more bloom you want, the more wood or canes you leave on. And if you want larger flowers, you'll have to prune it down more to the thicker canes. So are we going to prune this off?
I would take all of the small stuff off and just leave.
All the small stuff. We're taking all the small stuff off. Now, some of this has already budded out. do we cut those off?
I would,
Of course we would.
yeah.
Now, there are two branches here. One is a little shorter because it has already had a new one here, but this one is a pretty good size here. So do we want to leave both of them or
Yes.
do we want to take it
It
off?
looks like we're getting growth right from here, so I
Okay,
would take it off.
we'll take it off right in here. Okay, do we make this one about the same size?
And
There's
because,
one facing outside. Do we want to go
sure,
there?
let's go there.
Okay. So we have this cane already done. Let's take a look all the way down to see, oh, there's a little stump right here. We don't want that one to die back. All the little dead stumps need to come off. Okay, looks pretty good so far. And this cane, we've done that. Do we want to go further down on this one?
No,
What do
I
you
don't think so.
We're gonna leave
I
this?
think I'm gonna leave
There's a
it.
pretty good
Yeah.
chance of this growing. All right, we're going to this one cane at a time, remember? So we're going down here. This is a very good growth. This one really didn't do a whole lot. We can take that off. Do we want to go further down to here?
Yes, I would go all the way to there.
All the way to there. All right, this one was pretty good, but there's an outside facing one
Yeah.
here.
Let's take it right
Shall
to
we
here.
take it to there? Now already we have different sizes here, but so are the size of the main canes. This really has done nothing. So again, remember when we cut these off, there are lots of buds right around in here and they will start growing. There is such a thing as apical dominance. That means you've probably noticed it in all of your flowers. The top ones always come out first. So right here, these will probably come out. These will come out first. All the top ones will grow first. They'll push out. You can see already here on these, the top ones and down here that hasn't done anything yet. So the top ones will always bud out first. We have one right here that has a lot of little things and not much big. So let's take the little ones off. And again, if we take all of this off, then all the growth will come to the top. But we have to make sure that the canes are big enough so that the next ones that are coming out are big enough as well. This really hasn't done much. We're really getting down to the nitty-gritty here. This is a stub. Do we want to go down to here?
I would.
Okay. And what about these? Do we want to take it off altogether? There really
There's
hasn't
gonna be some growth right there. Why don't you take it right to there?
Okay. I think I see a little growth coming out already there. So what's happening is we have one that's going this way, the first one. Then we have here one that will come out this way. These will start growing. These will start growing. This one will start growing. And this one is an outside facing eye. So you know about where the direction of this one will go. Now, what about these great big ones here?
I think we ought to start over. I think that we're just getting little
Lots of
growth,
little
stuff.
yes,
So maybe we
yes.
should just give it a
Bring
kick.
it down?
Give it a kick
Okay.
and run it to there.
But this is already kind of stubby here. What do you think? Do we want to go there? Or how about right here? What do you think?
Okay, go there.
We go there? Okay, let's use our big lobbers because these really don't cut clean all the way around. And again, we do the same thing with this. Again, about 1/4 of an inch above, let's see if I can get this here. About 1/4 of an inch, and there we are. Now, again, there will be lots and lots of buds all the way around. This is a rather old cane. Where's the other side? Can you bring that up again?
As you can see, this is an old cane. It's It's got very little white. It's only in the middle. So this has been around a long time. Let's hope that this one's a little better.
We'll see. If it isn't,
we
can go down further.
Yes.
And make it push out further down. And again, the next cane coming out will be smaller than this. So, but this is a good size. So it'll probably be maybe this size or that size.
Yeah.
And because it can't get bigger than what this is. It won't have enough strength to do that. This one here, I would get rid of this. And there are lots of little nothings here that need to be cleaned up. Okay, how far down do we want to go on this one here? I would take all of this off. What do you think?
Yep. We need to start again and make it bloom.
Don't forget, this is January. This is the main pruning. If we did this in June or July, the plants would be very, very unhappy.
Yeah.
But these are as dormant as they're going to get in the Bay Area. So they're just happy to get rid of all of this small little stuff because they'd have to support all of this coming from the roots. And the roots are now, go here?
Go ahead.
Outside. The roots are established. So all those roots in here have now less to support, and they're going to be very happy to start pushing out a lot of new growth.
This is a pretty old cane.
It's a very old cane.
Yeah.
And again, we could probably go down a little bit.
I'd go down
more.
a little further just to see if we can get some more wood on it.
I would like to get rid of some of this. What do you think? It looks pretty old to me.
You want to do it to there?
I would like to go down a little bit more on this one here. This is a good cane, but
right to here?
To there or to here, whichever. And then get rid of some of this. This is not an exact science. You have to feel what you want it to do. So there can be many differences. Jack would probably prune this a little bit higher, but I'm a very good pruner and I go way down. So I love pruning. And when you see what I can do with these, sometimes
a lot of times,
cringe.
I think a lot of times when you're halfway through with the plant, you change your mind completely that the plant's not going the way you want it to, and you need to change and make it look a little better. What you do is you bring it down further, or just change it in order to that it will grow better outwardly, not inwardly.
The plant will tell you what it wants to do. A lot of times you'll be finished pruning and 2 or 3 weeks later you walk through your garden and it's starting to push out and there's new growth there. And all of a sudden you realize that's not exactly where you want that growth to go. So you can go back and you can start pruning a little bit more. A lot of people do that. You know that what you want it to do, don't let that plant tell you what it wants to do. You're the boss and it's in your garden. So you want it to do what you want it to do. But I'd like to go down a little bit more. How about right here?
Okay.
There. And again, this is an older cane and let's cut this flush and it will grow. Don't worry. Now we want to clean up some of this old loose bark that comes up. And of course we need to clean all of the weeds that are in here and all of the debris, and that all needs to be done. We want the garden nice and clean, weed-free, and then we're going to start fertilizing sometime in March, I would say. We can put organic fertilizer down early because that takes time. It takes about 4 to 6 weeks before it breaks down. And by then, the bush will need that food. So that you can do now.
And remember that you don't need to feed them after you cut them like this. They have plenty in
There's
there.
still plenty of food
There's
inside.
plenty of food in the plant itself to start the plant growing. You don't need to start feeding it all until almost March, April.
In March, I would say, towards the end of March,
Okay.
probably. Now, if you spray your garden, you want to do a cleanup spray. I use my regular spray that I use during the rest of the year. There is such a thing as a dormant spray, but I warn you that when you have a lot of other flowers in the garden, that dormant spray will injure those flowers. So be very careful on what you use. Regular spray is just fine. It'll get rid of some of these dormant eggs that are laying there from the bugs and also from the fungus that's still in there. We can't see them, but if we use a microscope, then we could. So it's there, believe me, because it's been growing all year and a lot of stuff just flies around in the air. So it'll settle on there. And if you spray it, you can do that anytime.
As you can probably see, I have all roses. I have very, very little other plants. So I use a dormant spray and I spray every year and it keeps most of the disease down. You're still going to get disease, but a lot of it will be taken care of by the dormant spray.
But if you don't have just roses and if you have other plants, be very careful.
All right, that was awesome. I think we can kind of open up now with Q&A. Can you guys hear me? I don't think I'm
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine.
Well, awesome. So thanks for sending the questions through chat. I think what we'll do is we'll start with the questions in chat and then open it up when we're done with the ones in chat, open it up for a live mic. How does that sound to everyone?
Sounds good.
Okay, so let me go with the first question, Rose, and I'll read it. And it's from Scott. Organic, he's wondering about the organic fertilizer, and he's asking, is it like Maxi?
Maxi is sort of a combination of both chemical and organic. So yes, that is some organic. It's a very good fertilizer. That's what I use. I love Maxi. It's an all-around fertilizer. It comes in 2 different, what am I trying to say? 2 different formulas. But either one is fine. There's a 16, 16, 16. That is just an all-around. You can use that all year long, and that works good.
Great. Scott, was that a good, did you have a follow-up question to that?
Yeah, just so because it's half and half weight is what I'm hearing then, because it's not all organic.
It's not all organic, no.
So wait, don't do it now.
No, don't fertilize now because there isn't really anything after you've pruned. There are no leaves on it. And the plant is not producing any food. It's still using what it has in the ground and what is stored in the roots and in the canes. So wait until you have some leaves, which would probably be, I would say, the end of January, the end of February, sometime in March, to start fertilizing. That would be good because then you have leaves and the leaves will be producing and then they can really utilize the food. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
But you can put in organics now, like alfalfa and all those meals, blood meal and manures and all of that. You can use that now because it takes time for that to break down. And by the time the plant is ready to be using it, it is available to it. Does that make
All right.
sense?
Scott?
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. So actually, on staying on that topic with fertilizer, I'm going to jump down to Tessa's question. What are some organic fertilizers that we can apply now?
Okay. When we say organic fertilizers, they're not really fertilizers. They're soil amendments. And that is what the bacteria in the ground convert into fertilizer, so that the chemicals, and that's not a bad word, you know, people are always saying chemical is bad. Everything is gone into chemicals that the plant eventually can use. And don't forget that water is also an organic amendment. So that is what converts all of those into liquid so that the plant can use whatever it needs. Did I explain that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, good. Okay.
Well, great. Thank you, Rose. The next question, I'm kind of going by subjects here and grouping the
That's
questions.
fine.
Subject is from Pamela. What kind of dormant spray are you using?
I don't use dormant spray. I haven't sprayed my garden in 6 years. I used to spray religiously, but I find that I'm exposed to all of that stuff, so I've just stopped spraying altogether. It wasn't easy for about 3 years. I got just about everything, disease and bugs that you could think of, but eventually the natural predators came along. And now I have very little disease and very, very few bugs actually, because I have lots of birds and I see lots of ladybugs and you know, those come and they take care of it. So if you are patient, then I would say go for it without spraying. But if you do feel that you need to spray, I would recommend that you use what is available in the garden centers or in the big stores. But don't use your own concoctions because you don't know how that is going to react on your plants.
Does that make sense, Pamela?
Pamela, did I answer that question?
Yeah, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, although for me, about 2 months ago, I got rust on my iceberg standard tree, and it spread really quickly to a lot of the other roses. And now, even though I'm going to prune back, I want to clean up, and I'm worried about any of the spores that get into the soil. I kind of thought I would, you know, once I pruned, use a dormant spray with a copper component to try
That's
and
fine.
treat
You can
rust.
use that. You can
Okay.
use that. Make sure that your plants are actually dormant.
Okay.
Also, it doesn't, when you spray a dormant spray, doesn't mean it takes care of it for the rest of the year. You're still going to get rust. It's just inhibiting some of it for maybe an extra month or so, because rust comes along, and I do get rust, but what I do is as soon as I see it, I take those leaves off. It's not going to hurt the plants because they're going to reproduce again anyway. That's what they do. And get rid of it. Don't put it in a compost. Put it in your green bin. Just get totally rid of it and get it out of your garden. And the main thing is to just keep your garden clean. Get rid of all the debris and all the leaves that are falling, and don't let it lay around, because that's where all the disease comes back up onto the plant.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's a little bit more work, but I love playing with my roses and I love cleaning them and so on. So it's better than trying to get that sprayer out and putting all those chemicals out there.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And you have to be a little bit more tolerant because we keep thinking our gardens have to be sanitary. Well, they're not. Mother Nature is not sanitary. So we just have to, live with a little bit more mildew, a little bit more black spot, and it's not going to kill the plants. It's just, it's unsightly to us, but the plant says, well, so what?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for that question, Pamela. Thanks, Rose, for saying all that. I think we're so eager to sometimes put sprays on things and to back off from it. It's so nice to hear you say that. Staying on this topic, Ellie has a couple questions that I'll read, and Hillary, I promise I'll get to your question. I'm trying to lump everything together here in one topic. So let's go with Ellie. Ellie, you have two of them that are kind of in the same bucket here. The first one is, if we aren't using spray, but what are some good methods too? So basically, if you're not using spray, what are some good methods too?
Okay. The hybridizers have hurt us. They are now producing roses that are relatively, not totally, but relatively disease resistant. And they're pretty much disease free. Now, they may not be exactly the style that we're used to, like we're used to those hybrid tea pointed, high pointed blooms and so on, but they're going more into the shrubby and floribunda type roses, lots of blooms, but just not as formal as we used to be. I would say that would be the best way to go to get rid of diseases in your garden. But also, if you are just totally attached to some of the roses like I am, you have to be much more vigilant and just check your roses every day to see what's there. As soon as you see some of that mildew and some of those black spots coming, you can take those leaves off so it doesn't spread. And certainly if you overhead water, black spot will come. And if we get those really foggy, drippy days, well, there isn't much you can do about those. But you can check and see that the leaves are clean and relatively clean. And then you just go with that. And be tolerant, like I said, it's not going to kill them.
Yeah, and Ellie, I think Rose also answered your second question.
Yes, that covers it. That's so helpful. Thank you.
All right, excellent. So let's jump to Hillary's question, which was around tools, which is, I'm trying to find your question here, Hillary, and is, how do you sharpen your tools?
I use a diamond nail file. As I go along, I keep sharpening them. I prune about 2, maybe 3 bushes, and then I just stop and file the cutting edge of my pruners in the direction, in the angle that it is already sharpened, and just sharpen a couple times over that, and that usually does it.
Thank you, Rose. I've broken quite a few sharpening stones from the nursery, but I'm going to try.
Go to the beauty supply and get those diamond files. And I have several around, I just keep it with me all the time in my belt. And they're so thin and easy to work and just get one of those.
Thank you.
That was a great question. The next one is from Candy. I see the roses in pots. They are dug up and replanted in the ground, or do they live in the pots?
I grow all my roses in pots. The reason it's because I have to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to grow roses. I have oak root fungus in the ground. I have not a clue where it came from. I lost over 50 rose bushes and couldn't understand what was happening. Finally, Dr. Robbie at Davis and I together, we researched, and that is what I found I have. The recommendation was, you can't grow roses, you can't grow anything shrubby in the ground. So I thought, well, I'm going to be growing roses. So I started growing them in pots. And so far, well, they have thrived. It's a little bit more work, but still, I don't repot them every year, or like most people would think. They have not been repotted. I grow them in large enough pots where they're happy. Some of them are sitting on the ground directly, and some of the roots have gone into the ground, but so far, so good. And then, if they die, so what? It's another spot for a new rose.
Candy, did that
I
answer your
used to
question?
just hang on to them and hang on to them, and it's not worth it. They're inexpensive enough where you can buy a new one, and the newer ones are much more disease resistant also. So I love new roses. So that gives me an excuse.
Awesome. Did that answer your question, Candy?
Yes, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
The next
Hi, Rose.
question, and just checking on time here, we're just going to go over
That's fine.
and go through everybody. These are some great questions coming through. Let's go to Satoko. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly. Can you talk about finger pruning?
Oh, yes. Finger pruning is when you have 3 or 4 new growth coming out of the same place. And like you heard me say, that the more you divide, the smaller it becomes. So if you have 3 new canes coming out of one spot, you can imagine they're really pretty small because, well, the energy has to be divided. So what we do is, while they're still small, we rub off one side, we rub off the other, and we only leave one new growth coming out of that spot. That will be the new cane, and that new cane gets all of the energy instead of having it divided. So it becomes a nice, strong cane. And that is finger pruning. You take those off. You can do that every day. Go out through your garden, check your roses, and check your canes and see if you get 2 or 3, just rub them off, leave one new growth coming out of each cane, out of each bud. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much. That's very helpful. And when you say rub, do you just mean you take?
Oh, just use your fingernails and rub it off, and just be careful that you don't get the others.
I see.
Just
Okay.
leave one.
Thank you very much.
It's easy. They come off easy.
Thank you.
Awesome. This next question is from S. Miller. Sorry, I don't know what your first name is. Is it
Sandra?
Is it
Sandy.
Sandy?
Miller.
Okay, Sandy. All right, great. Hi, Sandy. Please explain using alfalfa to help promote basal breaks, how to handle breaks, and why to cut off old canes to allow the new one a good place to grow, how to handle own root roses versus budded roses into rootstock. A handful of a question there, Rose.
Okay, let's see. We'll start with the alfalfa. How's that?
No, it sounds good.
Alfalfa has dicantanol, and it promotes. It's like an alcohol, not the rubbing alcohol that we use. It's a type of alcohol, and it also regenerates your soil. It just adds something to the soil. I use it every year, and you can get it from the feed stores. Just use it without the sugar in it. I'm trying to think of what, molasses.
Well,
Use it without molasses, and otherwise you'll get it. It does promote some basal canes, but I think it's more of a soil amendment for the roses other than trying to make breaks. It either makes breaks or it doesn't, but I don't think it's used specifically to get the basal breaks for that. Let's see, you have, why do you cut off old canes to, well, the old canes get used up. You saw how the inner white layer on the inside of the center of the cane becomes smaller and smaller and smaller as it gets older. Less and less nutrients come through there. And if we don't cut those off eventually, then the new canes won't have enough room to come out. But if we cut those off, the plant will think, oh my goodness, I need to put something new in here. I need to continue. And so it starts out with new canes, which is good. That's what we want. So that's why we cut the old canes off. But you know, the old canes sometimes can be 5, 6, 7 years old. As long as they produce and make nice new blooms, I wouldn't get rid of them. But if they stop producing and you only get spindly stuff and not really anything worthwhile,
Yeah.
I would take a look and see and get rid of that. And then some new canes will definitely come out. What else do you have? How to handle own root roses? Oh, that's a good question. Now the hybridizers are finding that budding roses is very time consuming and not cost effective. So they're using, well, let me start. Budded roses are roses that have 2 different kinds of roses on them. The root system is a different rose than the roses that you are buying, that are growing above ground. The little knob that's in the center where the canes are coming from has been, new buds have been budded onto that undergrowth, and the new canes have come up. That is the variety that we want. The reason they've used the roses that are underground is because they're very, very vigorous, and they're pushing all that vigor from the roots into the growth of the roses that we bought. So they are budded. Now the growers are using the canes or parts of the canes and grow them. Each bud that is on a cane can either become a cane or can, if it's underground, become roots. It's amazing. But when you put a cutting from a rose, you can do this yourself. You cut off a bloom with a nice long stem, take the bloom off, have 3 buds on the top and 2 or 3 buds into the ground. What happens is the ones that are in the ground, the buds will become roots, and the ones that are at the top will start producing canes. And you have your own root rose. There's nothing underneath that is a different one. It's all the same rose that you stuck in the ground. And when it comes up, anything that comes up next to it is the same rose that you've put into the ground. And the hybridizers are doing that now to produce more of the roses. They do it with a greenhouse and well, they they know how to make it faster than we do. But that is virtually how you produce an own root rose. Now you have no suckers. You have no canes that come out of the ground that are not the variety that you put in there. If you have a budded rose and you have canes coming out, let's say 2 or 3 inches on the side from them, that means that that cane coming up is from the root system. If you let it grow, it'll bloom, but eventually it will take over and kill the rose that you really want. So you have to get rid of it. You can dig down and just gouge it out, and your rose, your budded rose, will be fine. It's a little lengthy explanation, but did I explain that correctly to you? Do you have
Yes.
any? Does it make any sense to you?
Yes.
Any other questions on that?
I guess, is one better than the other from a gardener's perspective, or is it just preference?
What do you mean? You mean own root versus a budded?
Yeah.
Usually the budded roses are more vigorous because they have that root system from that very vigorous rose under them. But eventually, some of your own root roses can become rather large, depending on what the variety is. Some just won't do well on their own roots, and usually the hybridizers either bud them or just get rid of them. So it's, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but you can try it and see what comes out. It just takes so much longer to grow own root roses than it does budded roses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That was a great question. Let's see. I think here from Susan Fitzgerald, is Miracle-Gro a good thing to put on roses now?
Definitely. Any fertilizer is good fertilizer. Roses are growth feeders, and Miracle-Gro is good. It's a chemical fertilizer, but just be sure that you put in also some organics, because you need to feed your soil actually more than you need to feed just that instant shot in the arm, so to speak, that Miracle-Gro does. But definitely you can use both of them. That's fine.
No, great question. There's some topics in here. A couple of people have mentioned that it would be good for us to do a topic on roses in pots, growing roses in pots. So that's something definitely we can take a look at for sure, especially for the San Francisco Rose Society, right? Let's see, there is one question, another question from Satoko. I also noticed in Golden Gate Park that they have mounted the compost onto the base of the roses, but they do not use mulch. Yet in the rose book, mulch is recommended. Is there a preference?
I don't know what they're using. Actually, what you really should do is not put anything over the bud union. In our area here, we need the sunshine on the bud unions. What back east, what they're doing is they plant their roses deeper because of their weather. They get frost, and so that is a totally different topic. But we're growing in the Bay Area, so we need to plant our roses about 2 inches above the ground, with the bud union above the ground. And then we can still mulch around, but not over the bud union. We can go up to it, but not over it.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. So we did go through all the questions in the chat. Was there anyone that wanted to ask a question live?
I answered all of them.
Yeah, you did. I grouped it up. Everyone got answered. So
I thought these, yeah, they were great questions.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was
we had
great.
wonderful questions, very good
Yeah.
questions.
No,
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun, and I think we all learned a lot. So thanks. And it's so nice in this virtual community to be able to see each other and to be able to actually go back and forth with some question and answer. Before we leave for today, I just, this slide has been up here for a while, so I'm sure you read it. Next month's feature, we're going to be focused on how to plant roses and also soil amendment. So we've talked a lot today about soil amendment as well, and a lot of the questions. So Rose will again be our feature. It's part of the video that she did earlier. So it'll be the continuation of that for next month. And then next month, we will also let you know what's going to be for March and for April. So since we're meeting every second month, the next one for February, the second Sunday, will be on Valentine's Day at 1 o'clock. It'll be February 14th. And then it so happens that on March, the second Sunday is also on a 14th, March the 14th. Before we sign off today, Rose, we just really want to thank you for your expertise and your willingness to share with us all the best practices that you have uncovered and are doing so well with. So
my pleasure.
thank you.
I love plucking roses.
Yes, absolutely. Does anybody else have anything to say before we sign off?
Well, I would just like to say in closing that I'm really pleased that we had 17. Actually, we started out with 19 people attending, and I am very impressed.
Fabulous, yes.
And I'm really, I don't know what to say, flattered, grateful, surprised. And it's wonderful because it's a good way to start off in this venue. And it's also a good way for us to start off the year. And everyone is super enthusiastic, had great questions. I hope to see you all back again in February on Valentine's Day. If you want to, you feel free, if you know anyone, or even I might even, well, if we feel it's appropriate, I'm going to ask our nurseries to advertise this for us, because I know that there are people out there who would love to be able to have access to this kind of information. So you are definitely invited back. And I would like to thank everyone for taking a couple of hours off on their Sunday afternoon to join us. And I hope it was a great learning experience for you.
Can I just add one thing? It's okay to have people forward the link to this, because I've had people ask me, would it be all right if my friend came in, and it's absolutely positively okay to tell your friends on those programs.
Right.
Yes, awesome. The more, the better. So
Yes.
definitely spread the word. All right, excellent. Well, with that, thank you everyone for joining. Look forward to seeing everyone here and more for next month on February 15th.
Yes, and I'll be sending messages out to our membership, and I will include the new link for next month's meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you again,
everyone.
Rose. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for your
Thank you.
questions.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.